another night. Another night for me to be making a YouTube video. Alone. In my room. Which involves me, narrating a Pokemon online battle. That's not sketchy at all, right? I didn't think so. What's up, everybody? This is JRtheJuggernaut, and today, or I should say tonight, or this morning, whatever you want to call it, I have a battle for you against somebody by the name of Osha Fertella. Somebody I found on the Pokemon Online server, just randomly. This was an LU battle that we had, which is basically the, Pokemon Online's, Pokemon Online's version of RU. Tiers are pretty different, but same idea. So this was just a pretty simple match. Now you're going to see a pretty awesome Golurk that I use. I don't get to show it off very much here, but you'll get to see some of what makes it pretty cool. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on to the battle. As always, teams will be in the description below. So he leads off with his Fearow, and I lead off with Golurk. He goes for the U-turn, leading me to believe immediately that this thing is scarfed or banded, but given that it's a Fearow, probably banded. He switches out into Meganium as I go for a substitute. Now you're probably thinking, yes, this is probably some, this is just some basic standard sub-punch Golurk set. Now it is for the most part, but my EV spread for it is a bit different, as you're going to see shortly. Now I am going to go for the focus punch, but unfortunately this is a dual screen of Meganium, which is going to really give me problems, as you're going to see, just because the screens here are just help him out so much, especially when you see some of his team. So now he's going to switch out into Torkoal, and that Torkoal is going to start making my life annoying as he takes that focus punch like a boss. I mean, seriously, like, it's a freaking Torkoal. I've never faced this thing before, and I'm shocked at how well it's taking my hits. However, I do carry the Earthquake, so I'm just going to keep hitting it with that, but it's barely doing over a quarter, so I'm just really shocked at this point. Like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. He sets up the Stealth Rocks, though. After I go for one Earthquake, I go for another Earthquake here, and he's going to try to break my sub with a Flamethrower, but as you're going to see, Golurk is a frickin' boss. Okay, he's a boss when you invest defense and special defense EVs in him. That's what I did with this Golurk. He's max HP, adamant nature. The rest of the EVs are evenly spread between defense and special defense. It makes it much easier for him to survive attacks, and this way he's just, even if he lives with only a smidgen, he can still fire back with a powerful hit. I prefer to invest the EVs evenly as opposed to investing them solely in either defense or special defense, just because, I think this works better. He is going to break my sub, though, go for another Flamethrower just to get some damage after I go for the Earthquake. However, here I see he wants to keep his Torkoal, so he's going to switch and go out into Jynx. Now this Earthquake is going to do a lot, but I'm just now pissed off that, he's got the Reflect up, because had the Reflect not been up, the thing would have gotten killed easy. But not knowing what he's going to do, I'm just leaving in my Golurk. He goes for the Ice Beam. That is going to take me out, seeing that as how it is stabbed and super effective. But I see here he's got the Leftovers as opposed to Life Orb or something like that, so that proves to be helpful. Now here, thankfully, the Reflect wears off, and I know he can't take me out in one hit, so I know he's going to switch out. So I decide to set up a Dragon Dance here, figuring this is a great opportunity to do so. Now, he switches into Druddigon, but I do have the Ice Punch to deal with that, and the Ice Punch is going to do way more than half, but I am going to get hit by his Rough Skin ability and by his Rocky Helmet. Now, he tries to go for the Glare to paralyze me, but surprise, I have the Lumberry, so that turn was just wasted, unfortunately. Now, he's going to try and go back into Torkoal just to preserve his Druddigon. It's going to get hit with an Ice Beam, and it's going to live, but ultimately it's not going to make any sort of difference, just because I can just take it out with a Waterfall here, and that will be awesome. Now, Waterfall, yeah, obviously going to finish it off, which is great, and that's bye-bye Torkoal. Now, he's going to switch into his Accelgor, and I really wasn't sure if this thing was going to be fast or not, just because I know with speed investment, this thing is about as fast as, say, about as fast as Feraligatr. But he does outspeed me, goes for the Mega Drain, and I'm but I live, so I'm able to go for the waterfall, you know. But it brings it down, only brings it down to a sash, and he's just gonna go for the Bug Buzz next turn to finish me off. He gets a crit, but I'm honestly not sure if Bug Buzz would have been stronger than Mega Drain, so it's hard for me to say whether or not that crit mattered. You guys can let me know in the comments section below. Either way, I go into my Cofagrigus here, thinking I can wall this thing, and I decide to set up a Calm Mind, which I thought would be very helpful at the time, but as you're going to see, it's not going to make much of a difference in this match, as he's going to go back into his Meganium, proceed to Leech Seed me, and I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball, trying to see how much damage I can actually get on this thing. Now, Shadow Ball, unfortunately, even boosted, is only going to do about a quarter, making me believe this thing is specially defensive. He's going to get back with Leech Seed Recovery. I know at this point I need to switch, so I'm going to go into my Braviary, aka my Born to Brave Bird everything. And as you're about to see, this thing is going to Brave Bird everything! And that is going to take out the Meganium, and that is one dead Meganium. Now he's going to go into Accelgor, and not surprisingly, he outspeeds me, but I live with 1% of my HP, and I am able to take this thing out with a Brave Bird. So, Braviary, you're a boss. You're a boss. You did your job. Now he's going to go back into Druddigon, and my god, this thing is going to get wrecked by a Brave Bird. Choice banded fools like that. This thing is just unbelievably strong. But Recoil is going to take me out, but that's okay. Braviary, you did work. You killed 3 guys, so yeah, pretty much the MVP. Now he goes into his Fearow. I'm pretty sure this thing is going to be choice banded. So I go for the Stone Edge. I barely survived the Drill Peck, but Stone Edge, because it's not stabbed, isn't going to quite take out the Fearow, but it does get it down to a nice amount of damage. I decided to leave this thing in as death fodder. I could have theoretically switched into Cofagrigus, but I honestly wasn't sure how much a Drill Peck would do, given that I knew it was probably banded. However, I do take the hit very well, and I am able to finish off this Fearow with an HP fighting. I should have realized I would take that well, just given the fact that this was my physically defensive Cofagrigus. Now he decides to go for the substitute just to scout me out, but I'm figuring at this point this is his last guy. No reason to overpredict or to go for a status move. Shadow Ball this thing to death. Now he tries to finish me off with the Ice Beam. Unfortunately, that is not going to take me out, and the Shadow Ball is going to finish this Jynx off, and I get a useless crit for good measure. So yeah, that's going to be a great game. Osha Fertella, I had a lot of fun. I mean, okay, yeah, the light screen was up, but in all seriousness, what are the odds that that mattered, given the range of health that Jynx was at, and also given the fact that I was able to break his sub. So yeah, great game, Osha Fertella. That was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll run into you onto the servers again. This was just a very fun match. I wish Golurk could be able to do more, but at the same time, Braviary is the freaking boss. Oh my god, just choice banded. Oh my, that thing just wrecks through people. Yeah, so before I leave you guys, I'm going to be asking you the common question of the day, which is going to be this. What is your favorite generation of Pokemon up until now, and why? For me, I guess I would probably have to say my favorite generation was Generation 3. Like, at this point, I'm still kind of unsure whether Gen 5 is my favorite, so right now I'd have to say Gen 3. Gen 3 was like the biggest change that I felt like, you know, with the game. I felt like when they introduced those games, not only were the graphics altered dramatically, but I just felt like the gameplay had just changed so dramatically, and it just adding so many new pokes was just great. I mean, it was just an awesome generation, and plus that was where they started the competitive battling, even though there wasn't really a lot of it going on, you know, just because you really had to do wireless as opposed to, you know, you couldn't do Wi-Fi, but still, really, it was a really great generation regardless. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed the battle. I'm starting to ramble a bit. So yeah, there will be a link. Oh yeah, right, link to previous battle that will be posted right here. And I'm running out of things to say, so bye guys.